dirty dog?
What's up, everybody? It's good to see you. Guys, they're not started yet. Audit LA is in the other meeting with the police, the police commission, and what's his name's here. This just happened about a minute or two ago, so let's watch Andrew Graebner, Mr. Listen to him. Let's go. Shout out to Audit LA.
Chief's report should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes at every meeting. If the chief's report exceeds 30 minutes, we shall match the amount of time.
Oh, Frontier, I'm sorry.
Regardless of how long
so tired
the chief
last night, man.
Report, everyone shall
I apologize.
in person and on the phone. In other words, the chief report goes on way.
Where did you send the message?
Long.
On eBay?
We got other stuff to do today.
I can find your spot.
15 minutes of propaganda. So just say the necessary information and
Instagram.
And shut up for the rest of the meeting. But again, I find it kind of interesting. Y'all were interested in doing, kind of concerned about the car chases, but we know that nothing is going to go on about that. Because the car chases, the news stations love the car chases because they're great ratings for the news stations. They love seeing the LAP speed down the highway, down the street, injuring other people, causing major crashes and damage and harm to the community and everything. Because it's great for those TV ratings. So you're just going to keep speeding down the street and all that stuff. And you're continuing to shoot and kill people too. That's the main thing that's up this year. Crime itself is down, but we definitely need more money while the rest of the city sees mass layoffs and funding cuts.
You hear this low IQ moron?
More money. We have the consent agenda.
Crime is down.
For the consent agenda, we have
God, he's a useful idiot.
For 10 automated license plate readers, so that you can send more data to
This is across the street, Sauce, where they normally are.
But remember that you don't assist Trump immigration
Posted on the X stream.
But here you are getting more automated license plate readers to send more data to Trump immigration officials.
Trump.
Oh. A donation for the equipment for the bomb squad so that they can blow up another neighborhood. We have.
They didn't blow up the whole neighborhood. Stop lying. Why are you Democrats constantly lying? About 4 houses got their windows damaged. Somehow the whole city's gone now. Liars, man. Can't you motherfuckers ever tell the truth?
Donation for
fucking ever.
We have, that includes a police dog. So for the information of the public, where's the police dog coming from? Just curious. It's not mentioned on here. I assume it's, since you're hiding it, I assume it's from the kennel named after the bunker that Hitler went out in at the end of World War II. I assume. Since you're not mentioning it, so I assume that's where the dog's coming from. Why are you hiding that information? Everyone knows where you're getting the dog from.
Come on.
Next time, didn't we have to defend the LAPD?
I have to sign in just to follow you? What the hell's the problem? Let me go on this one. Let me try.
What was the name? Defend the LAPD? You're on. Okay, we'll move on.
We have Minister Kelly A. Cliff. William.
I mean, I see you, but it won't allow me to like
Minister
you.
Miss Kelly Cliff. I would like to make a complaint. May 17th, I tried to make a 911 police call. I was not able to make the police call. Someone answered the phone and said, as if I was playing on the phone, and I was not playing on the phone. And whatever was going on in Washington, D.C., it would not have interfered with me making a police report to get the police to come to my apartment and take a police report.
Jesus.
Because Washington, D.C., the White House, they know all the police chiefs. They know all the police chiefs. They know you, former police chief. And you did absolutely nothing to help me choke the first Asian police chief. A Spanish police officer broke into my apartment, committed sexual acts against me. The first black female carrying bags. The two of you go together. First and first, doing nothing. First and first. Karen Bass issued a $1 million settlement check and gave it to a short little Spanish female police officer. I'm not a homosexual, never have been, don't want to be, and not interested in changing my gender. So whatever happened in Washington, D.C., they know who is being honored. They know whether you're doing your job or not. You were the perfect person to break what was going on because it was internal. When Karen Bass made it public, why don't you want to be police chief? Apparently, it was internal. You were the person to break what was going on. I'm the lady that was raped in the sleep by Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Courtesy of California. It happened in Barack Obama, Denny's restaurant in Culver City, California. Denny's restaurant has been demolished. You were the person to break what was going on. It was internal.
Yeah, see, the other meeting's not going on yet.
Intern police chief, Karen Bass, first black female mayor. I met the first black mayor, Thomas Bradley. Thomas Bradley was giving me an award. Thomas Bradley looked at my name and he asked me, was my name spelled correctly? And my answer was no. Now, the first black male mayor looked at my name. My name didn't look correct. You, Karen Bass, Los Angeles City Council, first black female mayor. Don't see anything wrong with this. You ought to you're ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace to the Asian community. You are the person to break what was going on. And you can verify I'm telling the truth. I'm Minister Miss Kelly Cliff. How can I witness Jesus Christ to people when your police chief allow people to be raped, robbed, and murdered, steal their estates, get police officers to steal their estates? How can I witness Jesus Christ? If you take time to read the Bible, Jesus Christ was a strong man.
That's right.
All this Calvary situation was to prove that he was the Son of God. You're a disgrace to the Asian community. You're the one who should have brought what was going on. And I mean that.
Madam Secretary, please call.
Look who's right there with a fuck mayor shirt, too. Oh, boy. Hey, there you go. All right, there we go. Let's start our normal city council meeting here, ladies and gents. But it's good to see you guys. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Blumenfield, Harris Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Hirado, Lee, McCosker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 13 members present and quorum, Mr. President.
Jesus, right, always have to get into it.
Approval of May 16,
Can't have a conversation without
25 minutes.
All right, Councilmember Rodriguez moves. Councilmember Jurado seconds. What's next?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Padilla moves. Councilmember Price seconds. What's next?
Mr. President, today's Tuesday. It's time for the flag salute.
All right, I'll ask everyone in the chambers to rise and join Councilmember Hutt in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, boy, let's see if she can get it off.
Good morning. Put your right hand over your heart. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How come they never talk about the republic for which it stands? How come? How come it's always this democracy here or there?
All right, Madam Clerk, let's go through our agenda for today.
Yes, sir. Would council like to send all items from today's meeting forthwith, sir?
Without objection, that'll be the order.
Mr. President, there is a request to continue item 26 to May 27, 2025, sir.
Sounds like Minnie Mouse. Just sounds like she's trying to be
objection.
12.
Items 1 through 10 are items noticed for public
She's
hearing.
not 12 anymore.
Items 11 through 35 are items which public hearings have been held. Item 36 through 43 are items in which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration, sir.
Without objection, those items are now before us. Specials members, specials to my right on the east side of the building. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yeah, their view of it. Scorpio.
Yes, I'd like to request item 36 and 43 for questions.
36 and 43 for questions. Councilmember Rahman.
I have amendments for items 33 and
You should do
36,
phone
which will be
sex, Randy.
circulated in a moment.
Sure. All right. That one's
Thank
being held
you.
on the desk.
Sex operator. Remember
and item 40 for a
976
special-
numbers? I don't
separate
even
vote.
think that's around anymore.
4-0. All right. Councilmember Soto Martinez.
If it is, she should do it.
President, I'd like to call item number
OF
27
killed all that.
for a separate vote, please.
All right. Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 5, I'd like to call for an amendment,
All right.
and that's being circulated.
Amendment's being
And
circulated.
Out of an abundance of
Trent,
caution,
it's the
I'm
LAPD
recusing myself
commission
from items
meeting.
14,
So it's
36,
kind
and
of like
38.
this in a sense,
my
but you're
wife's
talking to the
employer has
police
worked with
commission
the
versus
applicant
the city
on that.
council.
Right on.
And the building's
All
right
Any other
across the
specials on this
street.
side? All right. Let's go to this side.
So that's
Councilmember
why,
Delgado.
you know, audit has a
Thank you,
hard time
Council
getting there
President. I'm calling
sometimes.
item 40 special for a separate vote.
She has to go across the street,
right.
around the
Councilmember
building, back up
McCusker?
the back side, and then in.
All right.
You know, with the
Any
wheelchair,
others
it
on the
takes
west
some
side?
time.
Councilmember Yaroslav.
You know.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to continue item 3 for 4 weeks and continue item 40 for 2 weeks.
Okay. We have dates on that, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, 40 for 2 weeks and 3 for 4 weeks.
Okay, so for item 3, 4 weeks would be June 18, 2025, and item number 40, 2 weeks would be June 3rd, 2025.
All right. Without objection. Any other specials? All right. Madam Clerk, what items are available for our consideration at this time?
Wait.
Filling up. We're good to go. Doesn't look like there's too many public commenters. It looked like Stacy there in the orange next to the one in the lady in the with
Mr.
the white hair.
President,
Looks like Stacy.
the items that council may vote on now
There's
are
two
items
for sure.
11 through 13,
Apart.
15 through 25, 27 through 32,
Apart.
34, 35, 37, 30. I'm sorry, sir. Let me go through that again. Items that council may now vote on would be 11 through 13, 15 through 25, 28 through 32, 34, 35, 37, 39, 41, and 42, sir.
All right.
Oh, I'm
She have
sorry.
a wife beater
No,
on?
One more
No.
time. One more time
Yeah,
from the top.
one more time. I'm, okay, not those. 11 through 13, 15 through 25, and 28 through 32 and 34, sir.
All right. Those items are now before us. Let's open the roll.
Is Bull eating a now and
Close
later
the
or
roll.
something?
Tabulate the votes.
I think he is.
14 ayes.
All right. What's next? Councilmember Rahman.
Item 34, go forthwith, please.
Without objection, item
Better
34 going
forthwith
forthwith. I think
it.
all items
All
are forthwith
items are going
for
forthwith.
today's agenda.
Okay, great.
Right on.
All right,
So just members, all items on today's agenda are forthwith. Madam Clerk, what's next?
Next would be item 27, that was called special for a separate vote, sir.
Does it say
All right.
30?
Any comments on 27? Seeing no one on the board, let's open the roll on item 27.
Thank you for
Close
letting
the
me
roll.
know.
Tabulate the vote.
I don't know if it can fix it on all of them.
11
Push
ayes, 3
instead of
noes.
2.
All right. What's next?
All right, it should be fixed. In
Next
most of the
would be item 35, sir.
places. We were, but X.
All right.
Should be fixed.
35. Call special for.
Thank you,
All right.
What's up, Dom?
We have item number 35 before us. Any comments on 35?
Strawberry
All
rum.
right. Let's open the roll on item number 35. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
That
14
awesome golf. All that money to do that.
All right, what's next?
Next would be
can't figure
public
out.
comment, sir.
We can't even figure
All
out
right,
where we're at.
we'll ask the
Next
city
is
attorney and the clerk
public
to prepare the room for
I
public
guess,
comment.
sir. Don't know, but I'm guessing. 230K starting salary, and I'm guessing. Starting salary. There goes Mr. Herman in the back signing in. I'm pretty sure that's him. Just walked in. Maybe not. I know he's there. That looks like Stacy who just walked up. Maybe she's going to go sign up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I ain't her either, but pretty sure. Pretty sure we got 2 regulars. And then, of course, some of them are across the street at the commission meeting.
To people providing public comment, when it is your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item,
Feds in
up
there?
to 3 minutes
no.
total for the items open for public comment. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get 1 brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker.
Well, most
The
teachers aren't
items
teachers
open
anymore.
for public
50
comment
cal.
on the agenda
Most of them are
are items
indoctrinators,
1
not
and 2,
educators.
items
So they
4
deserve to
through
make
10,
30 grand a year.
items 36 through 39, and items 41 through 43.
The better teachers,
So again,
better
let me
real
repeat.
educators,
The
they're at
items
private
open for
academies
public
and
comment
schools
on the agenda are
doing
items 1
homeschooling
and 2
for people
items 4
making
through
the money
10,
they deserve.
items 36 through 39, and items 41 through
Not
43.
teaching kids how to be gay and
Item
cut
number
their
3
dicks
and
off
item number
shit
40 have
at
both
10
been
and
continued.
12.
Members of the public may also speak
They're
for up
actually
to 1
teaching
minute
the
for
kids.
general public comment.
You know,
During general
making
public
them a
comment,
little brighter.
members of the public may speak to any of the items
teaching
or
them
anything
relevant
else in the city's
subjects.
subject matter jurisdiction. I have a couple more announcements if I could have the interpreters make this
So the
first one allowed to
indoctrinators
the room, please.
deserve 30K
If you
or less.
require a
Maybe
Spanish language
25,
interpreter,
20K a year.
please make sure
They
to
deserve to
pause
struggle.
every few sentences so that the interpreters can interpret.
Si requieren traducción en
They
español,
absolutely
por
deserve
favor
it.
pausen después de cada frase para
They
darle al
shouldn't get a penny
intérprete
more.
la
There's
oportunidad de
Herman. I see
traducir.
him right there.
Don't worry, we will hold your time while the interpreters are interpreting, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else.
Y no se preocupen, les pausaremos mientras el intérprete está
Johnny,
hablando.
I'm sure they make
Entonces
more. I'm
recibirán
sure it's
la
more
misma
like
cantidad de tiempo que las
45 or
otras
50 grand
personas.
a year,
Gracias.
something like that.
Finally,
Which isn't a lot of money
in order
at
to help
all.
us run an efficient public comment
Especially
period
living here.
and fit in as many speakers as possible, we
50
would ask
grand
that
living
you
in
please
Dubuque,
wait
Iowa.
until you
You're
hear your
doing
name
all right.
called aloud on the
50
speakers
grand here.
before lining up to speak.
You're not doing all right.
The names are called at random. So again, please wait until you hear your name read aloud, and then you can line up in any order on your left-hand side of the council chambers. Thank you.
Pretty much, Dems. Pretty much. So let's see. Are they going to get... Oh, there's 3 in shrimp in the back with a fucking...
I will now call names
With a green
to come
shirt
up
on.
and speak. Margarita, Jessica Flores, Yancy Lace,
All right, there's our first 3. Yeah, 50K isn't a lot. But if 50K is a lot when you're in a small town, if you're in a little town of fucking 10,000 people like I was in Clinton, Iowa,
You could read some additional names as
you
well.
could live pretty damn good on 50 grand. Here, you are struggling. Paycheck to
Good morning.
paycheck.
Which items would you like to speak to?
I'll take all items and general public comment. Thank you,
Okay.
Grout.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general.
She
Go
was
ahead.
throwing up.
For the record, my alias that was called was Yancy Lace. So if you see Stacy Segura Bollinger, don't bother. I'll begin with the item regarding a 4118 expansion. It's really frustrating how 4118 has just become a habit of this body. Council member from District 4, Rahman, once said that she vehemently opposed 4118, but then in a recent board meeting, her field deputy said that she wants to make sure 4118 is being enforced in her district when constituents asked about an encampment on Fulton and the 101. But criminalizing homelessness, makes unhoused residents criminals. It doesn't solve the problem. It just moves encampments from one place to another. Speaking of which, we have a motion regarding funding for the Inside Safe program, $35,494,594.03 to be shuffled around for providing
I'm right here, Miss A.
Leases, contracts for services. The purported goal of Inside Safe is a noble one. People shouldn't live outside. We should get these people indoors. But we've seen this program is extremely costly and ineffective. We could be using the money for Inside Safe and just handing it to unhoused residents to go get their homes, and it would be spent more efficiently, especially considering that LASA is in this motion, and we've seen that LASA does a really lousy job tracking where funding goes, and there's been a lot of corruption in that body with contracts being issued to parties with conflicts of interest, and just a lack of oversight as far as where the funding goes, and money being spent on an open bar for a holiday party for LASA employees. So this is, again, a noble cause, but lousy administration. Item 38
I'd love to give
is
them
for
all free
affordable
houses,
housing.
just to see who
Again,
takes care
a
of the
noble
house.
cause,
They won't.
but many quote-unquote affordable housing projects in the city require an income of up to 120% AMI, which is around $100,000 a year. I'm on an affordable housing registry. I get alerts. Recently, I got one that required a 700 FICO score to move in. If you have a 700 FICO score and you make $100K a year, you can afford market rate housing. These are taxpayer subsidized buildings. And when we issue these revenue bonds, they go to private developers and landlords. We could be issuing mortgage revenue bonds and just give them to the people who need it to then own their homes. Homeowners are a lot less likely to become unhoused than renters, but what these affordable housing projects do is funnel more money into the hands of developers and landlords, have limited covenants, and eventually those units become market rate. And then what happens to the residents who live there, huh, Hugo?
Well, 700 FICO
The
score.
children are our future, and they deserve to be safe and secure when they're walking to and from their school. It's an unwritten rule
Whitney
that
Houston, I
the
don't know the
children
song.
should be our top priority with regard to resources in the city. But the budget the mayor proposed, along with a DOT memo, threatened the jobs of crossing guards by replacing us with traffic sergeants due to overtime on their salary. This will cost the city more money. So now the council needs to save the jobs this budget puts at risk. Saving the crossing guard program could also save our kids. Save the crossing guards. Thank you for funding us, and shout out Smoke and Scan.
Oh, there we go. One, Stacy Segura-Bellinger. Stacy, look, I'm all for it, but you can't give these people free houses. They won't take care of them.
Tomasa, Mickey T.
Let's just be honest with that. They're not going to.
Justin Curan.
They're not paying for the.
Okay, before the next speaker
any kind
comes
of
up
taxes,
and before we
they're
start
not
his
paying
time, I
for
just
the
want to make an
utilities.
announcement
They're not
aloud to the
taking
room.
care of the place.
So if this is your first time here
we go.
or even if it's not your first time here, just FYI, I believe we are highly likely to hear some very offensive things over the next couple minutes with this next speaker. The Brown Act does not require you, the members of the audience, to listen. So it's up to you. If you would like, you're more than welcome to go for a quick walk and look at the rotunda. You're also welcome to pop in your headphones.
You're
you
also
can even stick
welcome
your
to
fingers
shut
in
the
your
fuck
ears if
up
you
so
would
we can
prefer
get
to
one
do
more
that.
goddamn
I just
minute.
want to let you know that it may be very offensive. It does not reflect the views of the city or this council as a body or individually. We
Thank you,
appreciate your
Pumpkinhead.
patience. The fastest way to get through this is just to let them go.
The
and then
fastest
we
way
will,
to let them
continue
get
with
through
public
this.
comment
The
after
fastest way is to shut your
morning. You
fucking
have 3
mouth
minutes for the
and
items
to
and
let
1
him
minute
go.
for general
Because
public
he'd be
comment.
halfway
Go ahead.
done already, you
Thank
fat
you for
dumb
the
asshole.
prior restraint, asshole. As far as all your building and safety reports, fuck you, Jonathan Grote. You racist, communist pig.
That's it.
Now look at here on item 36,
That's for you,
homelessness
Jonathan Grote.
emergency.
Fucking
What do you
pumpkinhead.
call an emergency when you got breaking news that the U.S. Attorney Bill ESSAYLI announces formation about homeless fraud and corruption task force against the city of Los Angeles, for the record. That's what these documents here in my hands are about, because when I attended the courthouse, called a federal courthouse, Jonathan, where was your mayor? Where was your fucking mayor on May 15th
That lazy
at the
bitch.
federal courts?
Probably in Ghana.
Where was she? And the issue there was about homelessness. Where the fuck was the mayor when Catherine Barger and David O. Carter put his foot down your mouth saying, where's the fucking mayor? Get your fat, stupid ass, dumb ass, shiny ass, and report for business of the people.
That's it.
Then I go into the item of LA Alliance for Human Rights. David O. Carter. David O. Carter. David O. Carter.
David O. Carter.
To retain an attorney, the city of Los Angeles is going to spend $1 million of taxpayers' money for the fraud corruption task force.
What's up, Rapido?
against Los Angeles and Los Angeles County on homelessness. And I still support Measure 64 and every motherfucker here to talk about we want our permits for marijuana because we have a right to invest and prosper. Fuck you, LA. Then, on the other highlights of this corrupted fucking city of Los Angeles, item 38, housing revenue bonds. Fuck your bonds, Mayor, and fuck you, Los Angeles, and fuck the DA for the reason, smoke and scan, you're right. Smoke and scan, it's all about corruption, and again, shine, shine, shine. Your fucking mayor doesn't want to give permits to businesses wanting to sell Measure 64 voted by the voters marijuana. Fuck you.
So that's not on the agenda.
I know, I added it, asshole. Now I'm going on to topic.
That's it.
You have 1 minute. General public comment.
What's up, Richard? Morning.
Now into my general public comment, dick face. Questions loom over Trump's order to create housing for 6,000 homeless vets. For years I've been talking about vets. For years I've been telling you fucking people of Los Angeles, you fucking Angelinos, and you fucking corrupted criminals of Los Angeles, and you, Jonathan Grote, just remember, you participated personally and involved with LA attorneys to defraud the system under Trump, under Doge, because you created the crisis of homelessness, for the record. I believe you created the problem, Mr. Attorney Jonathan Grote, for all the times you oust me out of public meetings when you illegally use impermissible restraint of my prior First Amendment speech, 42 U.S.C. 1983, America. Fuck Los Angeles! For the record, sir. For the record, sir.
Next speaker.
Sir?
So if you have documents to provide to this body, then you can provide it to the sergeant who's standing directly behind you. We need to move on to the next speaker.
All of a dickhead.
Mr. Herman, I'm going to ask you politely, please vacate the podium. I'm not warning you yet. Please vacate the podium so we can continue with public comment.
Oh, he's so
I would
angry.
also note that
So
you did
angry.
manage to barely follow the rules today, and if you notice, you were given your full amount of time. Good morning, Speaker.
So angry.
Which items would you like to speak to?
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Margarita González.
Hi, Margarita.
Y vivo en el Distrito 9. Estoy hablando sobre el comentario.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Margarita Gonzalez. I live in District 9, and I am here to...
Ajá. Vivo en el Distrito 9. Estoy hablando del comentario público. Necesito
Public
traducción.
Comment? Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go
Un
ahead.
minuto, adelante.
Oh, you gotta love him. Mr. Herman, straight up.
Go ahead.
Honest.
Adelante.
Quiero que nuestra concejal, Nitia, introduzca la nueva fórmula de control de renta, que es el 0 al 3%.
I want Councilwoman Nithya to introduce a new formula for rent control from 0 to 3%.
Es urgente que usted, concejal Nitia,
I think you want it from 3%
recuerde
to
que
0.
los miembros de ACE tocamos puertas por usted.
And it's urgent for you to remember, Councilwoman Nithya Raman, that the members of ACE went canvassing door to door for you.
Para que fuera nuestra campeona de los derechos de inquilinos.
You deserve
To be
everything
our
you get,
champion
ma'am.
of renters' rights.
You don't have rights, and you deserve it. You voted for this
Mi
bitch.
historia
You got it.
es sobre el desalojo.
You're getting the noodle.
Yo vivo en mi propiedad, donde vivo ahorita, por 28 años.
My story is about eviction or being without a house. I have lived in the property where I am for 28 years.
Mi esposo por 49 años, que ahí en esa casa fue donde él nació.
My husband has lived in that same house where he was born for 49 years.
Y tengo 3 hijos de 24, de 20 y el más pequeño de 17 con necesidades especiales.
And I have 3 children, 24, 20, and the youngest one is 17 years old with special needs.
Mis 3 hijos y mi esposo nacieron en esa propiedad. Y los nuevos,
My 3 kids and my husband were born in that property.
y los nuevos dueños.
Speaker, your time has expired.
Señora,
Yes,
se le
Oscar,
acabó su
28
tiempo.
years, no English. He doesn't feel the need.
And if I could have the interpreters make an announcement aloud to the room.
I could never live in another country and not
So,
speak their language.
if-
That'd be weird.
If you have additional public comments to make after your time expires, we understand that sometimes it seems like the clock is going awfully quickly.
Sí, para las personas hablando español, si ustedes tienen comentarios adicionales, nosotros entendemos que a veces se acaba muy rápido el tiempo.
Muy rápido tiempo.
Before the next speaker speaks, I'd like to call up more names. Luis Asturias, Adam Smith, George Buzzetti, Giseli Mata, Alejandro Maya.
49 years
And,
of rent.
I
Yep,
could
could have
have
paid
the
off the
interpreters
house.
continue. Thank you, Speaker. Just a second. So if you have additional public comments to make, you can always do so in writing at
Yeah.
lacouncilcomment.com.
Si tienen comentarios adicionales, los pueden escribir
Come on,
en
bro.
el sitio de
Click
internet
delete all.
lacouncil.com.
None of that.
And if you are looking for that URL,
Thank you,
you can
Kenneth.
either do a quick Google
Happy Taco
search,
Tuesday.
or you can find it at the very top of every
Well,
city
Snakes
council
was in
agenda.
here earlier, but he's gone.
Y si quieren ese enlace, lo pueden encontrar
outta
en Google o también lo pueden encontrar en su agenda en la parte superior.
She's on her way.
Gracias.
All right. Hopefully she
Good
makes
morning,
it.
Speaker. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. These two items that I'm speaking on, they're not up on the board. It's for item 28 and 29.
28 and 29?
Correct.
Okay. So 28 and 29 are not open for public comment, but you can speak to them during general. So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Understood. Thank you.
Right.
My name is
Yeah,
Juan
hold
Luna.
her.
I am a Western States Regional Council of Carpenters. I
We're gonna
work
block
and
your
recreate in the
fucking email
vicinity of the
address.
project.
It just goes
The
to the
Western
spam
States Regional
folder.
Council of Carpenters supports these projects. These developers have committed to work with the contractors that will hire locally and utilize apprentices from a state-certified apprenticeship training program.
That's it, Ricks.
I would like to express my support for these projects as I believe that it will benefit the environment and the local economy by practicing protocols that will protect worker health and safety and incorporate adequate environmental mitigation. Thank you.
She should make it. I mean, there's still 3-inch shrimp and a few others that haven't even got their names called, so she should make it. I mean, sometimes though she does stop to talk to folks and stuff. That might hold
Good morning, Speaker. Which
hold her
items
up.
would you like to speak to?
Public comment.
We
Okay,
got
so you have
enough-
1 minute. Go ahead.
Not enough speakers. She should
Hello,
be.
my name is Justin. I'm a resident of CD14, currently in the living in downtown area. I'm here to say that the rent is just way too high. The majority of us Angelinos are renters, and the
What
fact
isn't
is
high,
that
sir?
most of us pay more than half our income on the cost of living, rent here in LA. So I'm here today to plead with you all to please introduce the bill to lower the rent cap down to 3%. The 10% is way too high for utility, and the extra roommate bump. It is ridiculous that we still have this outdated and frankly unjust and pro-landlord kind of policy in the city of Los Angeles that is home to majority renters. And so it would really mean a lot for our city council to stand up and actually stand with the working class and renters of Los Angeles to lower the cost of living, the cost of rent, and really just, thank you.
Lowering the cost of rent. Then what? Then the cost of auto insurance and health insurance. And it's a slippery slope. Maybe you need to move. That's what people do when they can't afford the areas they're in. They move. That's what happens. I did it. I mean, that's just what happens.
Good morning. Which
Get
items
tired
would you
of
like
it.
to speak to?
Comentario público.
Public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Un minuto, adelante.
Hola, mi nombre es Luis Asturias, soy miembro del Distrito 10.
Yes, hello, my name is Luis Asturias. I am a member of District 10.
Y estoy aquí, estoy hablando sobre el comentario público, necesito traducción.
Sí, adelante. I'm here for public comment. I need translation.
Quiero que nuestra concejal Cintia introduzca la nueva fórmula de control de rentas.
I want our councilwoman, Cynthia, to introduce a new form for a council motion, formula in a council motion.
Que es del
He said
0 al
rent control.
3%.
From 0 to 3%.
Es urgente que usted, concejal Nitia, recuerde que los miembros de ACE
And it's urgent for you, Councilwoman Nithya, to remember that the members of ACE
tocamos puerta para que usted fuera nuestra campeona
went door-to-door canvassing for you to be our champion
de los derechos de los inquilinos.
for renters' rights.
Por favor, no nos defraude.
Please do not commit this fraud on us.
Y mi historia es que vivo en un distrito un edificio donde mucha gente ha sido desalojada injustamente.
And I live in a building, my personal story,
Always
living in this
Oscar.
building where many people have been evicted
Porque la renta es muy alta.
They want rent
es
control.
inaccesible.
because the rent is way too high and it's just inaccessible.
So, de nada sirve de que estemos limpiando las calles de los desamparados
So it doesn't really help out a lot that we're just cleaning the street or ridding the street of homeless people
cuando en la puerta de atrás están saliendo personas desalojadas
How are we doing
que
that?
están desciendo en las calles.
They're everywhere.
when we have people in the back representing here informing you about being evicted and being at risk of being homeless.
Yeah, they don't care.
Next
And you
speaker.
keep voting them for, so you deserve what you get, sir. You keep voting for these morons. They don't care about you. You know they
Good
don't.
morning.
So you
Which
deserve
items would you like to speak to?
everything you get.
I'm sorry.
Have a nice
Could
day.
Sergeants, could we identify, is that Mr. Herman who's continuing to clap? I'm being told it's Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, despite being relatively good for the first part of this meeting, you have disrupted the meeting, and that I'm trying to continue public comment. So please do not disrupt this meeting anymore. This is your first and only formal warning. If you continue to do so, you'll be subject to removal pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12. I'm sorry, Speaker.
You need to comb your
Good
hair,
morning. Which
Boulder
items
Head.
would you like to speak to?
Sobre el control de renta.
I want to speak about rent control.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Le voy a dar un minuto para comentario público general. Adelante.
Sí. Buenos días, mi nombre es Alejandro Maya y vivo en el distrito 15 y estoy hablando acerca de este comentario público. Necesito traducción.
Yes, my name is Alejandro Maya. I live in District 15. I'm going to speak about general public comment. I need a translator.
He does look like
Adelante.
Kim Jong-un.
Quiero que nuestra concejal Nitia introduzca la
Free and
nueva
shrimp.
fórmula de control de renta que es del 0 al 3%. Es urgente que usted, concejal Nitia, recuerde que miembros de nuestra organización tocamos puertas por usted para que
Nitia-
fuera nuestra campeona de los derechos de inquilinos.
Yes, and we want the Councilwoman Nithya Raman to introduce a new formula for rent control from 0 to 3%. It is important for you to remember, Councilwoman, that us, the proud members of ACE, went door-to-door canvassing for you to be our champion for rent control.
So you deserve this.
A mí me están desalojando y pedí que fueran a revisar mi propiedad y el inspector fue muy prepotente conmigo y con otras personas que me estaban ayudando para reducirle al inspector porque yo no hablo inglés.
And I am facing eviction of my apartment, and I had someone go there to analyze my belongings, and there was an inspector there who was being very preposterous with me and the people who were helping me translate for him because I do not speak English.
Quisiera que nos apoyara.
They will soon enough, Oscar.
Porque están haciendo de todos nosotros los inquilinos un abuso.
We want your support, Nithya Raman, please, because us, the renters, we're just being abused in all sorts of ways.
So, muchísimas gracias. Feliz tarde.
It's fantastic to see their voter base coming in every day, begging for crumbs and not getting anything.
The speaker know if you could hang out by the side for just a couple minutes, please. I think he's right there now.
They deserve every bit.
El comentarista, si por favor puede volver a quedarse ahí parado al costado por un minuto, por favor.
Thank you. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Number 36, number 40, and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Great.
Yeah, the
my name's Adam from the Los Angeles Community Action Network. Number 36 is finally here for a vote. And I just think it's absolutely embarrassing that...
I'm sorry, sir. How many items were you just speaking on 36, sir?
36, 40, and general public comment.
Okay, so 36 and general public comment.
And
Thank
40.
You.
And
number
40.
40.
Is she that
okay,
stupid?
2 minutes. Thank you.
How fucking stupid are you? That's 3 minutes.
Where should I start?
How stupid are you? You listen?
Yeah, I just see all these millions coming through for shelter beds. I see that some of them are for congregate shelter beds in Skid Row in Council District 14, at the URM shelter and the Weingart shelter. And it's just curious that the city's dumping millions of dollars into congregate beds for Inside Safe in Skid Row, but that doesn't happen anywhere else in the city. Matt, where do you get your haircut? Just kidding. So, yes.
That's Dana she's talking to.
That while nobody's listening, as always, that the priority for this council is to meet the obligations in the Alliance case and just shove as many people into shitty beds as possible and spend as much money. And you can't even count the fucking beds. It's just really embarrassing.
They don't know how to count.
The Weingart is spending money on illegal planter boxes outside of 6 and San Pedro, outside of the congregate shelter, being funded by Inside Safe. Is Inside Safe money going to that? I guess I'll switch to number 40. Good day, Council President. Number 40, also embarrassing that Councilmember Yaroslavsky, who asked for a report back on 4118 that the community had to push to actually get released, is now pushing even more 4118 zones during budget season when we're thinking about how much money is being dumped into the LAPD for criminalizing homelessness rather than actually addressing the root causes, which of course are housing availability, affordability, and poverty, none of which is solved by Inside Safe, none of which is solved by LAPD funding. And I guess I'll go to general public comment. Last Wednesday, there was a sweep scheduled in Council District 14. Paper signs were put up by sanitation on top of metal signs for Operation Healthy Street.
Smoke. Operation Healthy
One was
Street.
for the sweep on Wednesday. The metal signs say Friday. And we were there filming and trying to plead with sanitation because Council District 14 wasn't there, but we're trying to plead with sanitation to explain to the people on the street what these signs actually mean. They are not noticed, and it's so frustrating that when people push sanitation to say, are you coming to this street next? People moving their stuff from one street right into the line of fire because they really don't understand. And all sanitation ECI leads say is call 311. It's so fucked up. And speaking of displacement and banishment from the land, I think it's incumbent on all of us and shameful that none of you in 19 months of genocide have brought up Palestine.
Next speaker. Great, thank you. Before the next speaker, Mr. Soto Martinez is on the queue. For what purpose do you rise? One sec. If you could turn on his microphone, please.
Have a technical amendment for item number 14. I believe it's been introduced.
It's been circulated?
We
Not
seem
yet,
to
but
be
experimenting some technological
And I believe it's being
differences.
seconded by Councilmember Padilla.
Yes.
Do you need to read it in the record, or? No? Okay. All right, back to public comment. The floor is yours, ma'am. And
Good morning.
if you could identify yourself.
Which items would you like to speak to?
Public
Fuck
comment.
Palestine.
Okay, and feel free to move the microphone if you'd like. So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
I'd like to
Shit
speak
about what happens
in
there.
regards to the public comment and in regards to tenant rights. Yes, hello, my name's Julie Robles and I live in District 14 and I'm here to, I would like to, for our council Nadia, to introduce the new formula of rent
They don't pay
control
attention to
that
anybody,
is
Michael.
0 to 3%. It's
Nobody.
urgent for Council Nadia to remember that the members of ACE knock doors
They won't do that,
and
Tan.
for her to become a champion of the rights of tenants. And my story is that I'm a small landlord in District 14, and I'm organizing a small group of also landlords in District 14, and we all feel the same way that 0 to 3% is more than enough, especially in these hard times. And I would really, thank you.
You could do $200 rent for everybody, JC, and then sooner or later it's going to
Thank you.
be.
Next speaker.
I need free health care. I need free rent, not $200 rent. 'Cause
Welcome.
that's still too expensive.
Good morning. Which
that
items would you
$200
like
I
to
can
speak to?
spend on my
General
iPhone.
comment?
So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning, Council. My name is Giselle Mata from ACE. Los Angeles faces enormous challenges: wildfires, soaring housing costs, and crumbling infrastructure that cost our city billions each year. Right now, we pay $1.4 billion in fees and interest
Who
and debt
created the problems?
services annually to Wall Street banks. Imagine if that money
I guess it's
stayed
Trump.
here, rebuilding neighborhoods, creating affordable homes, and supporting local businesses. Our deficit right now in LA is close to $1 billion. It's basically what we're paying to banks. It costs $460,000 to get this study started. The only solution that you all are offering is job cuts to our neighborhood services. That's the last thing we need right now. North Dakota's century-old public bank model has returned over $1 billion in its general fund while investing an additional $1 billion in education. Nithya Raman, remember who got you where you are, and remember the people that elected you. Thank you.
I'm glad you're struggling, ma'am. Continue to struggle. Continue to vote that way. We'll continue to laugh at you. Yeah, just full circle. You'll never get anywhere voting for these clowns, and you deserve everything you get.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
38, 40, 43, public comment.
One last thing, ma'am.
You're fired.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
On 38,
Thank you,
you
Wes.
got bonds for $28.1 million, another $20.1 million. And again, you're not putting down how you're paying for them. Another illegal game in your foolish trip.
What's up, Todd?
On number 40, what is this where you're trying to tell people who have no place to live, you can't sit, you can't lie, you can't store, you can't sleep? What kind of inhumane sociopaths are all of you? Well, you robbed the homeless money. I know you're sitting there just trying to ignore this all. But the DOJ and the federal court are going to make it so that you cannot ignore this anymore.
Thomas
and you,
Sowell's
Mr.
great.
City Attorney,
Listen to him
you
all
got
the
a
time,
good
Art.
chance of going to jail. I know why that you have to pay $900,000. Because you're a defendant and you can't prosecute at the same time. I was in federal court. Bass didn't show up, and the president of this board didn't show up because you're trying to manipulate getting rid of Judge Carter, only he isn't going for your foolish business. Now to public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
No, I got 1:30. I think you don't know what the hell you're doing, bud.
You said that you would like, can you hold his time for a second? You said now on to public comment. So that tells me you want to move to general. You do not get to use your additional time.
You're eating up my time right now.
Your time is
You
paused, actually,
illegal
if you look
piece
at the
of
clock.
junk.
So you have 1 minute for general
might be,
public comment
JC.
per your request. Go ahead. Can you start his time over at 1? Thank you.
You people here that are here for lowering your rent, go take a look at another agenda item where we finally force these fools to talk about paying the proper price for housing, which is $15,560 instead of $600,000 to $800,000. If you divide $15,560 into $600,000, that's 34.5 to 1. At $800,000, it's 54 to 1. So if you want your housing costs lowered, you're going to have to hammer these people to start paying the right amount of housing, because of their contracts with the developers automatically mean that you're going to be paying more money, and your leadership isn't telling you because they don't know the money, because they don't care, or they're bought and sold by somebody. Do you got that, people?
That's it.
This is how money is robbed by the city attorney.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
Who in the fuck do you
And you're
guys
going
think
down,
you
bud.
are?
I like him.
So if
He's
the previous
spicy.
speaker, we are trying to move on to the next speaker. So this is your own first and only formal warning. Do not disrupt this meeting. I believe the
Wally
speaker's name is
George vibes?
George. So George, please do not disrupt this meeting. This
Bro's
is your first and only
bro's
formal
name
warning.
is George.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Or last name, bro, is
Buenos
that
días,
Wally
¿sobre cuáles
George?
temas quiere comentar?
Can't be, he passed.
Hola, mi nombre es Amelia López. Vivo en el
How
distrito
crazy is
7.
that?
Estoy hablando del comentario público. Necesito traducción.
Yeah. Public comment. My name is Amelia Lopez from District 7.
So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Un minuto, adelante.
Nice suit, guys.
Adelante,
here.
señora.
I noticed he's there. So you got audit, 3-inch trim, nice suit,
Quiero
guy.
que
Those
nuestra
three.
concejal Nitia introduzca la nueva fórmula de control de
Spindler's still
renta,
suspended.
que es del 0 al 3%. Es urgente que usted, concejal Nitia, recuerde que los miembros de ACE tocamos puertas
Oh, we
por
should get
usted,
was
porque
over in the
nuestra
other one.
campeona de derecho de los inquilinos.
See him in there.
Yes, we want Councilwoman Nithya Raman to introduce a new rent control formula from the numbers 0 to 3%. It is important for you to remember, Councilwoman, that us, the members of ACE, went canvassing door to door for you to be our champion for the rent control.
Mi nombre es Amelia López. Mi historia es la siguiente. Pertenezco al Distrito 7 de Mónica Rodríguez. Entré a vivir a la ciudad de Silma, California, cual concejal es Mónica
Monica's
Rodríguez.
sitting over there just
El día
not even
12
paying
de
attention.
diciembre
She's
del
sitting over here.
2023,
Hot? Oh my God, dude.
el primero,
Sorry, guys.
donde yo
Yes,
firmaba
un minuto, señora.
She's
So
sitting
yes,
right
my
there.
personal anecdote is as follows. Living in District 7 under Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez in Silmar, California. And on December 12th of 2003, I had an incident with a landlord claiming that the forms that the contract that I had signed was different from what I had believed after living there for over a year and 5 months.
al primero donde yo firmaba que yo cuidaba a su esposa con la enfermedad de Alzheimer por 2 semanas.
First, where I
picked
signed
him
that I
out
was
for a
to
week,
take care of
Trent.
his wife, who had Alzheimer's for 2
LAPD.
weeks.
Para que él tuviera más beneficios,
Must have
ayuda
said
de
something
Medicare y
crazy. I don't
Medicare.
know.
So that he could have more benefits and help from Medicare.
Y como no le firmé, me dio
Speaker,
una
your time
Should
is
be up
expired.
though, Trent. Like Friday, he
Because
should
I
be back,
didn't
or even
sign, he
tomorrow.
gave me a notice.
He's been
Señora,
gone
se
for
le
a couple
acabó su
days
tiempo.
now already. So I bet you tomorrow or Friday he's back. JC, thank you so much. JC, you have a good day too. On to the next one.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Buenos días. Quiero hablar sobre comentario público.
Public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Mi nombre es Sofía Mendoza, vivo en el distrito 9, soy miembro de ACE.
Yes, hello, my name is Sofia Mendoza. I live in District 9. I am a
Stacy's
member
still
of
back
ACE.
there. I see her in the back. I don't see her husband though. He got
Quiero
kicked
que
out too,
nuestra
remember?
concejal Nitia Rama
He stirred up the crowd last time.
We want the councilwoman Nithya Raman
They may have kicked him out for a week.
introduzca la nueva fórmula de control de renta del 0 al 3%.
We want her to introduce the new formula for rent control from 0 to 3%.
Es urgente porque ya tenemos mucho tiempo, ¿verdad? Y esto ya tiene que ser ya.
It's urgent because we've been at this for a long time, right? So we need this right now.
Recuerde que los miembros de ACE tocamos puerta por usted para que fuera nuestra campeona.
And remember that the members of ACE went door to door canvassing for you so that you could be our champion.
See?
Sí, yo como inquilino
So they work for free,
tengo,
telling everybody to vote for her.
dificultad
She won the vote.
como con el
Now
dueño
how's she
porque
helping him out?
él quiere aumentarme
I
más
love
la
it.
renta.
I love it.
Por
Mia.
eso les pido que es importante esto, no nada más a Nitia Raman, a todos los
It's a
concejales.
good lesson for them to
And
learn.
me, as a renter, I'm having difficulty paying my rent because my landlord is trying to raise the rent. So that's why I'm asking you, not just you, Nithya Raman, but all of the council.
Mi esposo tiene 2 trabajos y si llega el aumento de renta del 10%, del 8%, nos vamos a quedar prácticamente en la calle.
My husband has 2 jobs, and if we are facing paying a 10 or 8% increase in rent, we're at risk of practically being on the street.
Por eso es importante que ya pongan esto ya en el concilio. Por favor, gracias.
And that's why it's important to put this in the council now, please. Thank you.
Both Raman and Monica Rodriguez, you know, because I'm sure some people are from each district. You know what I mean? Although be it from the same group, this ACE group or whatever.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Eloísa Galindo, voy a hacer comentario público.
If it isn't Flying Foods, it's
1 minute,
fucking
go ahead.
ACE.
Un minuto,
Or
adelante.
fucking Baby Gay or
Antes que nada,
Indigequeer.
quiero decirles a todos los concejales que es una falta de respeto que los inquilinos vengan y les digan lo que están pasando con sus rentas, porque no tienen un tope de renta y ustedes estén platicando sin ponerles atención.
Yes,
Por eso mismo,
un segundo,
hay muchos
señora,
inquilinos.
para que le pueda traducir. Yes, hello, my name is Eloisa Galindo. Before I would like to speak, I would like to say that it is a complete lack of respect from the council members that while us, the renters, are coming here to speak to you about our rent control needs and our difficulties that we have, and for all of you to be standing there just talking with one another.
Could you imagine
Desde la
having
vez
the
pasada
gall,
que vine y hablé,
the
por
entitlement
ahí
to
vi
be in another
sonrisas.
country,
No es
not
ningún
know their
juego,
language, and
hombres,
scream at them
pónganse a
because they don't do
trabajar.
enough for you?
Yeah, since the last time I came here, it was the same thing, seeing all smiles everywhere. This isn't a game, this isn't a joke, this is real.
Nidia Ramos,
Yeah, your
te pedimos,
entitlement is
vamos,
real.
Nidia Ramos, nosotros estuvimos apoyándote, eres parte del pueblo. Vamos, Nidia Ramos, pon tajo en la mesa, 0%, mínimo 3% máximo.
Come on, Nithya Raman, come on, seriously, we need you, Nithya Raman. We need this new formula. 0% minimum with a 3% cap, please.
Vamos, agarren la pala y pónganse a trabajar por los inquilinos. Isabel Jurado, estoy con Julie, la pequeña dueña de casas.
And yes, come on, pick up the shovel and start working. council members. I'm with Julie, the small representative here, the worker from the
También
domestic
caminamos
worker.
por ti. Pedimos a Steve que le dé una cita a Julie. Vamos, pónganse a trabajar por los inquilinos.
Speaker, your time has expired.
Come on, Councilwoman Jurado, we are asking for your help too. We want to schedule a
entitlement is
meeting
through
with
the
Julie.
roof.
Please.
I couldn't imagine doing that. Rolling up to
And
any
I
other
believe
country.
we called out Audit LA as well. So I believe, Speaker, do you have the mic yet or no?
I didn't hear
Just
them say
one
Audit
second.
LA.
If we could get the speaker in the center aisle, the remote mic or the wireless microphone, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's insane. I couldn't imagine going to any country not knowing their language and screaming at them in my language, saying that you
Good
haven't
morning.
done
Which items
enough
would you like
for
to
me.
speak to?
But thank you, Mr. Grote, for
I
not forgetting
demand
about me.
that people
Let's go with
change
all
the way
items,
they do
and then
business
you
with
tell
their
me when I'm off
businesses.
topic because I didn't study it as well as I should
Amazing.
have, and then public comment.
Okay, so you said all items, and then just for clarification, the items that are open
Amazing.
for public comment are items 1 and 2, items 4 through 10, items 36 through 39, and items 41 through 43.
Does
So you
that
have-
include the police one? Or I could just go for it, like, and you could just.
So the police pensions is not. That's item 26. It was actually continued. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll go for it. Shout out to Smoke and Scan. Okay, well, I want to start off first. It's like, okay, let's see who's listening. Ms. Hernandez, where are you? Mr. President, come on. Come on, guys. Ms. Padilla, everyone start listening to the public. We're here to talk to you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Monica. And Mr. CAO, I feel like that he always has to look like he's about to be tossed under the bus. Because I think that you guys, come on, you guys are harsh on him. You're giving him, like, not a lot to work with. And then he's here sweating every time I'm here, so give him a break. I always say hi to him. He says hi back, so he's been cool. But go easy on him, okay? A little bit. I mean, you try. But I'm telling you guys, Mr. McCosker's not listening. Oh, Mr. McCosker, come on, you're letting me down. Like, and even this, well, I'm glad the city attorney's not listening because then he'll be calling me off topic. So, but let's, like with all the, I see the closed, all the lawsuits, a lot of lawsuits are coming. Mr. Hugo's not listening, even though I'm always here about his division, right, his area. Shouldn't he be listening, Ms. Monica? Right, he should be listening, but he's not. I don't like it when he doesn't listen. Who else isn't listening? Mr. President's not listening. You're listening. I know you are, because every time I try to catch Ms. Hernandez not listening, she swears she is, and so I try to
All right,
catch her.
everybody.
I've yet to catch her not listening, even when she's talking. Are you listening, Ms. Hernandez? Okay, all right, I got you this time. All right, I'm just going to keep doing it until everyone's listening. Because Mr. Lee, are you listening? Mr. Lee, calling Mr. Lee.
So, Speaker, this is not on the agenda. I'm going to ask
Oh,
that
it's
you
not.
stick to the
I
agenda
thought your
items.
names were all on the agendas. I see your names all over the agenda.
So I appreciate what you're trying to do. But please continue
Okay,
with your
continue
agenda
with it.
public
I
comment.
appreciate
Okay.
you trying to make everybody listen.
Well,
But you're not
I'll
gonna-
wait
it's
till
not
what I
gonna
came here for, to public comment. But in the meantime, like all those houses that you're giving away, like the 1 and 2, there's a lot of addresses that you're giving away. Hi, Mr. Price. I hope you're listening. But anyway, I think that you should give them to the people who need them. Like, there's a lot of people that would benefit from getting free houses. 1 and 2, like you're taking the thing off the rolls or whatever. Instead of just taking things off the rolls, give those houses to people who need it. I'll be happy to take one. I bet Smoke and Scan would love to have one. We all would, like it would help with the house, right, Miss Monica? It would help a lot. And and then the one I really wanted to talk about the police one because I think that, I don't know. They're doing. I didn't like what's going on over at the police meeting today, and
I don't like it either.
boy, it's really hard to concentrate when no one's listening. But you're always listening, Mr. Grote. So in a way, that's bad because I wish you wouldn't, because then you wouldn't call me off topic. You see how that works? So I wish you weren't listening, and I wish they were. Bob, are you listening?
Understood. I'm
Wave
going to
high
ask
if
you
you're
one more
listening.
time. Please stick to the agenda
Oh,
items.
okay, I'm sorry.
Or you're welcome to go to general.
Okay. Well, we'll just let the clock wait. I just need Bob to show signs of life, like really.
Okay, so I've asked you.
Okay.
I'm going to move you to general public
Okay,
comment.
here,
You're
now
welcome
public
to talk
comment.
about what you want to talk. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm here to talk to Mr. Hugo about his area. And also, all of you. Okay, I don't know if you're aware, there's a lawsuit in the city of Los Angeles. Okay, it's Jane Doe versus, Gavin Potter. She was a they're both Scientologists, and she claims that she was sexually assaulted by him as a minor and that she was forced by Scientology to marry her abuser, so because they don't believe in going to the police. And there's a lot of Jane Doe cases, even against Danny Masterson. They're not allowed to go to the police, okay? So there's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of victims, women victims, children victims, because do you know that in the state of California that you don't have to be any legal age to get married? Are you listening? Because you're a woman, you guys, all the women here, you're allowed to have children brides. Okay, come on, CD4. You're not listening? Are you listening? Signs of life. Okay, that's all I need. Bob, are you listening? This is my time, so I can ask you if you're listening. Wait.
Okay, I was not listening for the record. Where are we next? Was that the last speaker?
Gotta laugh, sorry. No, 3-inch shrimps right there. He didn't get called.
Yes?
Yes, that was the last speaker.
3-inch didn't sign up.
Okay, I'm told
That was
that
the last speaker. There are no more
public
speakers.
comment is now closed.
And what about the suit guy? Come on, you know he signed up.
We have a certain amount of time, folks. We don't have unlimited time on this. Okay, anybody who's yelling out will be removed. Simple as that. Don't yell out or get removed. That's your warning.
See how they do it when
What
the
do we have in
news
front of
isn't
us now?
there? See how they do it when the news ain't there, huh? Oh boy. News is there. Oh, let's give them an hour and a half. News
Okay,
ain't
well,
there.
then-
You get
then
20
we'll reopen
minutes.
Public comment. Okay. Good reprieve on the public comment. I've just been told we're waiting for a few amendments. So with that, we'll get 10 more minutes of public comment.
Uh-huh.
So if your name has been called,
Oh, you fucking commie!
why don't we have the
Piece of shit,
the next
blob. Fucking
If you could read the
scumbag.
names, we have.
So I'll call out more names.
Okay.
Margarita Gonzalez, Ida Rivera, Kirsten Peterson, Jared Kilo.
Okay.
Hopefully 3-inch shrimp
If you heard
signed
your name
up as
called, please come
Margarita.
forward. Again, we have a limited amount of time. Fortunately, we have a bit of a delay,
All right,
so we
we'll-
can get a few more
we'll get
speakers in.
We'll
we
get
appreciate
suit guy in here. Come on, get up in there,
again,
suit guy.
To clarify for everyone, the items that are open for public comment are items 1 and 2, items 4 through 10, items 36 through 39, and items 41 through 43. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. Mark me down for general public comment and agenda items. I would like to do 1, 2, and then 4 to 7.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items on the agenda and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
We're taking a look at item number 1, and it's talking about the non-compliance of LAMC code and whether or not there is any sort of inspection costs and whether there will be any sort of consequences and penalties followed up. I talked to the Disability Commission, and I know for a fact, as part of the advocacy that I and many others have done to hold the city accountable, they demand a letter directly from the city attorney herself, Heidi Feldstein Soto, on an annual report, whether there was any sort of selective prosecution of fines on LAMC violations. Now, the office has been formally noticed as such, and we are looking forward to that report. Is it the case that maybe there are some agencies, maybe there are some entities that are not being held to the same standard, not being issued the same fines? Similarly, for number 2, we have yet another appeal for LAMC violations and compliance to code. Is there any possibility that there's a discrepancy between who gets prosecuted on LAMC code violations? I know quite a bit because I actually had to learn it when I was criminally prosecuted and beat a case against Heidi Feldstein Soto. It's why I call myself a Heidi Feldstein Soto superfan. I am her #1 fan, and we know for a fact that she is in fact not prosecuting everybody equally on the LAMC violations. Otherwise, the city would have collected on the money for an entity such as a church, we'll say, that exists on L. Ron Hubbard Way, that may or may not be called Scientology, that owes the city quite a big chunk of money, close to millions. We're moving on to item number 4. Yet again, we have another motion on LAMC code violations, whether fines and or criminal prosecution will be taking place. Blockading the public right-of-way is one of those, 5609, 5611, 5612. Why is it then that the city attorney's office keeps not prosecuting entities equally with fines and criminal prosecution as is required under the law? and you're selectively choosing which entities you do and do not want to go after, do and do not want to get money, that is the literal definition of malicious and selective prosecution. The literal definition committed by Heidi Feldstein Soto herself as witness for my case very clearly. That's why I call myself a Heidi Feldstein Soto superfan. That's why I love that she selectively prosecutes
but I've
people.
been listening intently, and I do not believe this is related to the LADBS lien.
And we can cut straight to general public comment.
The bigger areas.
1 minute. Go ahead.
The major
Why is
metropolis,
this city council
cities
the only committee so far that
blue.
continues to chop virtual public comment? I submitted a letter to the executive office of the city attorney's office yesterday on this very same thing. There are disabled people that want to make their voice heard but can't because they can't physically show up here. Tell me how that's not a viewpoint suppression or discrimination. Tell me why this room still has the same infrastructure to hold virtual public comment. You don't need any more licenses. You don't need any more video camera equipment. You have all the things necessary here to hold virtual public comment, and you don't. It's the stupidest thing to get the city sued over. It's the dumbest way to violate people's rights. It's the uttermost disgusting thing you can do to discriminate against the ADA community. But you do it anyway, and you do it repeatedly, and you're gonna get the city sued over this shit.
Hopefully.
It's disgusting. Hold virtual public comment again. And we know you're not calling names on the virtual teleprompter. For fuck's sake, it's the stupidest thing to get the city in trouble for.
You didn't lie about nothing.
And before the next speaker begins, just as an FYI, if you do require an accommodation under the ADA, please let either the sergeants know if you are here in person, or you can reach out to the clerk's office.
What about the ones who
remotely to let
can't
them
leave
know.
home?
Thank you. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
What about
Buenos
those
días.
ones?
¿Sobre
bro?
cuáles temas quiere hablar?
Comentario público.
Public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Un minuto, adelante.
Mi nombre es Tomasa Martínez. Soy miembro de ACE y vivo en el Distrito 14. Estoy hablando de comentario público. Necesito traducción.
Yes, my name is Tomas Martinez, proud member of ACE. I live in District 14. Adelante.
Quiero que nuestro concejal Nitia introduzca la nueva fórmula
Right, Dom?
de control de renta que es 0 al 3%. Es urgente que usted, concejal Nitia, recuerde que los miembros de ACE tocamos puertas por usted para que fuera nuestra campeona de los derechos de inquilinos.
Yes, and we want Councilwoman Nithya Raman to introduce a new rent control formula from 0 to 3%. It's important for you to remember, Councilwoman, that us, the members of ACE, went door to door canvassing for you to be our renters'
Same
rights
script.
champion.
Same script.
Isabel Jurado, te quedas como las reinas de mi pueblo de las fiestas patronales con la corona. Nada más. Necesitamos que hagas valer esa silla donde estás.
And
Y
Isa-
esa corona, necesitamos tu energía para poder defender a los inquilinos de tu distrito y otros distritos.
And Isabel Jurado, we need you to be the champion, the queen that you are of our people. You need to make good of that position of power that you have in your seat to help us in our districts and other districts as well.
Y apoyar a otros, que estés a favor del ARSO y que defiendas a los inquilinos, ya que están pasando por muchos desalojos.
And support
acosos.
LARSO and other renters to support renters in facing abuse and evictions.
Que defiendas a tu pueblo porque tenemos la esperanza en ti, porque caminamos por ti y tocamos puertas por ti. Gracias.
And to defend your people, because we went canvassing for you, we went supporting you and representing you. Thank you.
What you get? You did all the work for free
Good morning.
for
Which
them.
items would you like to speak to?
General
They
intent.
spat in your face.
So you have 1 minute
Remember
for
that when
item
you go
number
vote.
10 and
'Cause
1
I'm
minute
sure
for
you'll
general
vote for
public
them
comment.
again.
Please begin with the
General
item. Go ahead.
public comment. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Kika Keith. I've been here plenty of times before. I'm a social equity retail license holder. We're here because we just left the Government Operations Committee meeting where the DCR did not show up to go over their fee schedule. I'm asking you, did you all read the state audit where they were accused
Speaker,
of...
can you hold our time really quick? So, Speaker, you said item number 10.
I'm
Item number
speaking on
10
general comment right
a general
now.
public comment? Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Just for the record, LADB, item number 10 is a building and safety related item. So you have 1
Gotcha.
minute. If we could start our time at 1, you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you. I would like the Budget Committee to ask more questions. Why is it that the DCR is charging social equity operators more than general applicants? Why are we paying $1,683 to send out a mailing? Why are we paying $2,596 for a viral hearing? Please question them. We demand that you reject the fee schedule, the DCR's fee schedule, and block this outrageous fee study. It's time to dismantle the DCR and immediately adopt the Cannabis Equity Reform and Market Stabilization Act. Please make sure to look into what the DCR is doing. It has been corrupt. They have disrupted our lives, and you guys are not asking the thorough questions. Ask why are they charging the fees. Ask for an audit of the Cannabis Equity Grant. Look at the state audit report. Please, we appeal to you all. Thank you.
Fucking Herman. Hopefully they get to 3-inch shrimp.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
¿Es comentario público?
Public comment.
Okay, and before you begin, please feel free to lower the microphone.
Antes de comenzar, si puede bajar el micrófono un poquito, señor.
Go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Hola, mi nombre es Aida Rivera, vivo en el Distrito 9. Estoy hablando comentario público.
Yes, my name is Aguirre Rivera. I live in District 9 for public comment.
Whatever, they started
necesito
a...
traducción. Quiero que nuestra concejal Nitia introduzca la nueva fórmula de control de renta que sea del 0 al 3%.
They started a program
Es urgente
for
que
people
usted,
that are black and
concejal
brown
Nitia,
to own
recuerde que los miembros
dispensaries.
de ACE tocamos puerta por usted, pero que fuera nuestra
Then
luchona de
they
los derechos de los
nosedived.
Yes, we are urging for
the,
Councilwoman Nithya Raman to introduce a new rent control formula
the
from
whole,
0 to
push.
3%. It's urgent for
Now
you to
they're all
remember,
hurting.
Councilwoman, that us, the members of ACE, went door-to-door canvassing for you to be our champion of renters'
angry.
rights.
También le hablo
Not
a
what they
todos
were
los concejales,
promised.
no solo a Cintia, a todos los concejales, porque nosotros también hemos tocado puertas por algunos de ellos, como el concejal de mi distrito 9, Colin Price, nunca ha dicho nada. Siempre venimos a pedirle que él también nos ayude a que pase la ley Larso, la ley del control de renta.
And we are also talking to all the council members, not just Nithya Raman. We went door-to-door canvassing for other council members, including the one from my district, District 9, Mr. Curran Price, who has never responded. He's never showing up for anything. He's never done anything to support LARSO or other rent control stabilization.
Well, it's because of that, Daly.
Yo, ahorita en mi lugar
There was
donde
no more
vivo,
licenses, and all of a sudden
me
they
están
gave
aumentando
licenses to
el
this
10%.
social equity
Soy una madre
program.
soltera que vivo con el
Flooded the
salario
market.
mínimo. Y fíjense ustedes que si pago renta no como. Por eso les pido
It was doomed to
que
fail.
toquen el corazón y nos ayuden a que pase esa ley, que no nos aumente más la renta.
and,
Gracias.
and where I live, I am facing a 10% rent increase. Please, I'm a
Puppy.
single mom. I need to support my kids, and I'm making a minimum
Where's the
wage.
dad?
With the salary that
Where's
I
the
make,
papa?
it's not enough to cover my rent, so I am not really even able to afford food. So please help us with this rent control.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
General public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hello, City Council members. My name is Luis Rivera. I'm a social equity owner and an advocate, and my voice represents hundreds of others here who are not able to be here today or who have already lost their license, life savings, and dreams due to the incompetence of the Los Angeles Cannabis Department. For years, I have faced excessive delays, unclear guidance, and unnecessary financial strain caused by this dysfunctional department. Before the city approves any fee increase, raises any wages, or conducts another lottery, the DCR must fix what it's broken. The fee study should have been conducted by an independent third party with input from public license holders, particularly those social equity in the social equity program. The cannabis department needs to be regulated. We need to lower fees and have a progressive timeline so legal businesses can open stores, employ people, and contribute taxes. We urge you to reject the proposed fee increase until an independent third party is conducted
Speaker,
from
your time
public
has
input
expired.
and the city adopt the cannabis equity market stabilization
Speaker,
motion.
your time
Thank
has
you.
expired. Next speaker.
Here we go, 3-inch shrimp. Let's get it, 3-inch. Let's get it. 3-inch, baby, 3-inch.
Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Let's say your
All
boyfriend's
right,
here.
thank you very much, Cartel City Attorney. Start with item number 36. It's about a homeless emergency account. I'm really concerned because there's no such thing as homeless
Hold on just a
emergency
second.
account.
We're trying to get the timer correct.
Of course, they're
Okay,
fucking
go
with
ahead.
your time.
Just for the record, you never get the timer correct. The only job for you is to put the timer correct, and then you never do that
So this
correctly.
is not on the agenda. You
Item
know the
number
rules.
36 is about a homeless emergency account. And then how do we deal with homeless emergency account? You have to make sure you put the homeless timer emergency account correctly first before you talk about homeless emergency account. Now, on television, on a daily basis, that homeless services continue to fail the audit, continue to fail the annual inspection report. Now, you are talking about a homeless emergency account. There's no money in the account. Why? Why is that? Because the money goes to local profit, so-called non-profit, making the largest homeless profit. There's no money because our city attorney put all the money to those illegal Blue Mandingo, illegal immigrants, illegal aliens out there. So there's no such thing as homeless emergency account. Now, let's move on to item number 38. Item number 38 is about multi-family housing bonds, talking about $20 million, and then with only to build 64 units. Now I understand why there's no money for homeless, because you are trying to housing 64 homeless people, but with the cost of more than $20 million. Now I understand why the city attorney is getting like a $500,000 annual salary right now on a yearly basis. Is because $20 million you can only house 64 people. In the city of LA, there are more than 100,000 homeless people. And then using the same formula, in order to house 100,000, you need several trillions of dollars. That's the reason why you continue to fail. Item number 39 is about the reward for the unsolved murder. I'm not surprised because our city attorney continue to defund the police department to give themselves a bigger raise. Now you have 2,000 less LAPD officers on the street, and then you want to solve the murder. You have 300 less detectives on the street, and then city attorney wants to solve the murder. You have a budget crisis with the LAPD, and then our city attorney wants to solve the murder. Now I understand we don't need LAPD because LA city attorney continue to ask the public to solve the murder instead of asking the LAPD to do their job to solve the murder. I'm so confused that maybe city attorney, you have to go down the street, find the murder yourself if you continue to defund the LAPD. Going to the general public comment is that I'm concerned about the domestic violence, sexual assault in the city of Los Angeles, specific about the Casey Ventura, because somehow she wanted millions of money. She voluntarily walked into the Sean Diddy's bedroom. She voluntarily, opened her leg and take off her clothes. And then somehow right now she is claiming that's sexual assault. That somehow right now all of a sudden she's claiming that's rape. Somehow right now she's saying that, he does not have my consent. That's not how it works. You are the one who wanted the money. You are the one who wanted the fame. You are the one who wanted to have your celebrity status in the city of LA. And then right now you are saying that's not, you regret it. That's not how it works. That's why I support Black Lives Matter. That's why I support we have to make sure free Sean Diddy. He is innocent. Black Lives Matter only.
Reiterate, everybody.
I'd like to call up more names. Julie Robles, Luis Rivera.
That doesn't look like Julie Robles.
June Osborne.
Maybe that's Luis Rivera.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 29.
You-
Actually, public comment.
You notice they never ask them
Sorry,
who
I
they
heard
signed up
a
as?
number, but and then I heard actually
29.
Only the ones that they don't like that come every day, they ask them what
29
they
and
signed up
public
as.
comment general.
These
Yeah,
folks,
public
Okay,
general
so
comment.
Never
29
ask
is not
them.
open for
Notice
public
that?
comment, but you can speak to it during general. So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Yep, go ahead.
Thank you. Greetings, Councilman. My name is Manny Salcido of the Western States Carpenters. I work and recreate in the community, and I'm here in support of the Violet Tower Projects 29. We're grateful and honored to team up with a responsible developer like Hines Development, who shares many of the common goals of the community by hiring safe, responsible contractors and has made a commitment to the community to create jobs and provide much-needed housing. Good jobs with middle-class wages and good benefits. These are the type of jobs that you could start a career off for an Angelino here in this area. And as we know, not everybody goes to college, so a state-accredited apprenticeship program with the carpenters is a learn while you earn situation. This project will benefit many of the protocols for the workers' projects for health and safety and will be incorporated in the environmental mitigations. We ask that you approve this project. Thank you very much and have a great day.
I'll call up more names. Judith Serlin.
Judas.
Maria Rodriguez. Christopher Martinez. Karen New. Antonio Hernandez. Tina Juarez.
Sí, muy buenos días. Mi nombre es Antonio Hernández.
Okay, and which items would you like to speak to?
¿Sobre cuáles temas quiere hablar?
Y estoy pidiendo ayuda, más que nada, a la concejal porque el lugar donde yo vivo es una casa y el dueño está aprovechando demasiado.
I'm sorry, did he say which item he wanted to speak to?
Señor, un segundo, ¿sobre cuál tema quiere hablar?
As it relates
sobre el
to.
abuso sobre el abuso que hay a
Un
nosotros los
segundo.
inquilinos.
So, yeah, the general public comment, I believe. Mr.
Okay, so
City
you have
Attorney.
1 minute. Go ahead.
Comentario público y necesito traductor.
Tiene un minuto, puede comenzar de vuelta, señor.
Ok, mi nombre es Antonio Hernández y vengo porque necesito ayuda.
Yes, my name is Antonio Hernandez. I'm here asking for help.
Porque el lugar donde vivo, el dueño de la vivienda está abusando de todos nosotros los inquilinos.
Because where I live, the owner, the landlord, he is abusing of all of us, the renters. He is abusing us.
How's he abusing you?
Y quiero que por favor nos atiendan y nos tomen en cuenta de que lo que necesitamos es urgente.
And
Porque
please, we
nosotros,
need you to help us and take into account that what we are asking for is urgent, because all of us,
como inquilino, estamos padeciendo abuso de tanto como los pagos nos los han alterado sin darnos aviso.
and because all of us, the renters, are facing abuses, are experiencing abuse, for example, in the rents that we have to pay, where they're not even informing us of the changes that they are making.
That's abusive to make you pay your
Quisiera que
rent.
nuestra concejal,
We ask for our council person,
la señora Nitui, nos ayudara y viera lo que estamos sufriendo nosotros allá afuera, porque de aquí adentro realmente no se ve lo que se sufre allá afuera.
we ask for the councilwoman Nithya to look outside and see what all of us are experiencing and what we are suffering, because from inside here you can't really see what we are dealing with.
A nosotros allá afuera como
Paying
inquilinos
rent is abusive.
nos humillan, que no tenemos derecho y eso no es
Hey!
verdad. Gracias.
Us outside as renters, we are being humiliated and we're being humbled, telling us that we don't have rights, but that's not
Make
true.
a fool of yourself.
Thank you.
Come in here begging.
I'll call up more names. Mauricio Mana.
Stop the
General
begging.
Dogan.
Get another job.
Betsy Ross.
Go
Albino
somewhere there's
Chario,
rent is cheaper.
Justin Curan.
There is
Alejandro
places
Maya,
you can move. Go east.
Bertha Diaz.
It happens.
Amelia Lopez.
In fact, my friends who couldn't afford to get here a house here, they all got nice homes east of here. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Sure, you're driving in a little bit longer. Okay. Same thing with Lancaster, Palmdale. That place
Okay,
kind
so
of
if
turned
you've heard
kind
your
of
name
crazy.
called, please
but
feel free to make
before,
your way
that
to
was
the
the place
your
where
left-hand side
you
of the
could buy a
council
house
chambers.
for $300
but
grand
for the
with a
record, I do
pool.
not see anybody coming
But
up
you'd
to
have to
speak.
drive an hour and a half each way to L.A. to work. You know, it was annoying. A lot of traffic on the 14. But that was a thing. It really was a fucking thing.
Smoke.
Can they even read English? Probably not. I don't know. They probably have, jobs where
Good
it doesn't
morning.
really.
Which items would you like to speak
reading
to?
is not really
General
a big
public
thing,
comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
My name is Mark Gaynor. I'm a member of DSA Los Angeles
They're in
and
maintenance.
SEIU 721, and I'm a resident of District 10.
Ah, San Bernardino.
I want to talk about the budget. The city is facing a significant
Tehachapi,
shortfall, and we have an
Temecula,
opportunity to begin
Rialto,
stabilizing that over the longer term by
Montana.
funding a study for a public bank for Los Angeles. And so I'm calling on all council members to support that in this budget. I also want to note that because there's a significant reduction in homelessness services, and
Michael, it's the difference
rents
between
are
having a
continuing
house
to
and
rise,
renting
we are
an
going to
apartment.
continue to see more people displaced onto
getting
the
anywhere.
streets. We have an opportunity to stymie that at the source by capping rent at 3% and 60% of CPI. Thank you.
Because Lancaster, Palmdale, as big as they are, they don't have a whole lot of commerce. I mean, of course they have jobs. Every place has jobs. But, I mean, are they, they're not packed like L.A. So a lot of people, when you're going on the 14 freeway
Okay, so
in the
that
morning
concludes
or at
public
the
comment.
night, it's packed.
And what's next before us?
The only way really up there other than doing Angeles Crest. And that's
Mr. President,
fucking
there is
windy
a
roads like
request to
this.
continue item 1 to June 3rd,
Okay.
2025, sir.
Without objection, so ordered. Next.
Next, council may now vote on items 2, 6 through 10, 37, 39, 41, and 42, sir.
Okay.
bang
Those
again,
items
yeah.
are before us.
To go to Angeles Crest?
Seeing no speakers on the queue for those items, let's open the roll,
I mean, to go to Palmdale, Lancaster? Huh?
close the roll, and tally the votes.
14 ayes.
Okay, those measures are approved. What's next?
Next would be item number 4, and that was called special for an amendment, and motion Harris Dawson Hernandez has been submitted and circulated and is before council now.
She'd be great at phone sex
Okay.
operator.
So that's before us
Ooh,
now. Does anyone
baby.
wish to speak? Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll, close the roll, tally the votes.
14 ayes.
14 eyes.
Okay, that's
how
approved.
it
What's
works.
next?
Notice they're all in their
Next
seats
would
now.
be item number 5,
Just
and that was
disgusting.
called special for an amendment,
Fuck
and
each and
motion
every one of
Price
them.
Soto Martinez has been submitted and circulated and is before council now, sir.
Okay, that's now in front of us. Any members wish to speak? Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll, close the roll, tally the vote.
Yeah, Glenn, what it is
14
is,
ayes.
Okay, that's approved. What's
is
next?
it's a yes.
Next
Automated
would
yes,
be
unless they've changed
items
it.
14 and 38, and that was called special
Unless they
for
changed the vote.
Mr. Price for recusal. Please note that 14 has an amendment, and that amendment, motion Soto Martinez Padilla, has been submitted and circulated.
Michael.
So the vote now would be on the amendment for item 14, and then the vote for 38, sir.
Okay, seeing as Mr. Price is now off the board and out of the room, let's take up those items. Any members
Yes, you
wish to
have a
speak?
bingo.
Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tally the vote.
13 ayes.
So that is 13 ayes for item 14, and that was the amendment. And next would be item 38.
Okay, item 38 is before us.
You out of here,
Any
Richard?
members
Have a
wish to
good one.
speak? Seeing no members on the
See you
queue,
later tonight
let's
or
open the roll,
on Friday or tomorrow maybe. For
close the roll, tally the vote.
Wednesday City Council.
13 ayes.
Okay, that measure is approved. What's next? If we could ask Mr. Price to rejoin us.
Oh, Grady, get the fuck back up in here, man.
Okay.
You. If I was the AV guy, as soon as he left, I'd play that, and as soon as he walks back in the room, I'd play that.
And that was called special for amendment.
his theme
And
song as he's
motion
walking in.
Raman Hernandez has been submitted
Like
and
baseball players
circulated
have their
and
walk-up
is now
song.
before
That'd be his
council
walk-in
now,
song.
sir.
You know, just like a wrestler.
Okay. Councilwoman Rahman.
I submitted an amending motion and just wanted to
dummy, you.
strike. In the amending motion, it says authorize the controller and has 2 bullet points. In the second bullet point, change that date, April 29th, to read April 9th. I apologize, that was a typo.
As Xi Jinping's
Okay.
grandma?
So
Where?
we
Who?
can take it up as amended. That's before us. Let's open the
Shady
roll.
Grady. That's it.
Close the roll. And tally the vote.
Somebody has
14
TDS in the
ayes.
chat? Oh, there's a lot of TDSers.
Okay. What's next?
Next is called special, is item 36, and that was called special for an amendment and also called
Teresa?
special because Mr. Price requested to be recused.
What it really is, oh, there he is again.
All right, Mr. Price is off the board.
And also, I'm sorry, Mr. President, Ms. Rodriguez has questions on 36?
Yes, I have Councilmember Rodriguez as a speaker on
Teresa,
36.
it's just their
Councilmember
mental
Rodriguez.
illness on display. They can't help to, they can't suppress the mental
Matt
illness.
or CAO's office, if they please come up.
Oh, shit, yeah, Monaco, everybody.
Shut up, Meg.
Before you even say anything.
Shut up, Meg.
Hi, good morning. So I have some questions
Right,
based
JD.
on
Sit down,
some of the information that unfortunately isn't included that we've requested in these regular reports on the HEA. But I just wanted to kind of take some salient points out of what's been included in the report.
Shut up, Meg.
So for table A2, we talked about you discussed the
Peter.
number of occupancy agreements or the Inside Safe motel contracts by type, which are both by booking agreements and by occupancy agreements, and a time-limited subsidy. Correct?
Kendra Leo with the Office of the City Administrative Officer. The number of booking agreements and occupancy agreement rooms does not include time-limited subsidies.
Okay, so it doesn't include
Theater,
TLS.
corsage.
So, of the occupancy agreements, the 466 rooms that you have for occupancy agreements contracted through 2027, those are eligible and compliant for the Alliance, correct?
You feed
So
a family of
the
12.
nuance is that
Those
all the
flowers.
rooms for Inside Safe are eligible for Alliance, to qualify for Alliance, but there's only certain contracts that have been extended through the end of the Alliance agreement.
So here's my dilemma, because of course, eligible is a great word.
Oh, here she goes.
It's
She
a
gets
catch-all
spicy.
word, but it doesn't actually deliver compliance. So I want to get to
Why is there Mike feeding back
the
DEI
bottom
sound
line
guy? Turn
of
it
what
down.
is
It's too
compliant.
hot.
Because one of the next conversations we're about to have is issues stemming from the fact that Inside Safe, for the most part, had not been compliant
It
with
hadn't
the
done
Alliance.
shit
Wasn't
right.
helping us get closer.
Waste
so I don't
money.
want to talk about eligible. I want to talk about actuals. So actually, at this time,
Bet she's a freak.
466
She'd be
occupancy
banging Taiji,
agreements,
probably.
466
Taiji
rooms
wants
through
to get what
occupancy
he
agreements
said,
that are
so maybe they
contracted
got
through
together.
2027 are in fact currently what's considered qualifying for the Alliance agreement, correct?
They've been extended through the end of
Shout out to
the
the team,
Alliance obligation, yes.
Correct, okay.
Girls like
And
those
then,
football players.
So explain the 216 rooms through occupancy agreements. There's an additional 216 rooms that are listed as occupancy agreements.
So the
Are they
two-
just not contracted
I
through
mean, he
27?
was a cowboy.
Correct. They're not, right
And he
now
was a
they're on a
buccaneer.
short-term agreement and they're on, they have options to extend for
Nice
about
little
6
meat,
months.
I
So
think,
right now
Randy.
they don't have a flat term that extends all the way through the end of
likes
June
the meat.
2027.
Okay, so help me understand. So when you say all of that, because what is going to get us closer to compliance is securing these occupancy agreements with the terms that
Hey, bro,
conclude
fuck your
for June
occupancy.
27 or beyond.
You ain't
Correct?
bifurcating nobody. No, you all is a bunch of weirdos.
I think right now the goal is to count all eligible rooms in order to
I know what our goal is.
receive-
I just want to, we have to talk in terms of, we're in essentially a consent decree. We have an obligation to get compliant with how we're spending our money. Because right now, we're under duress of having a receivership conversation. So it behooves us to really work in good faith, to say, guys, this is what we've established and secured through these occupancy agreements. What's eligible is fluffy language for, well, we're going to try. But my concern is we have to be very deliberate about what we're doing, because the game playing has gotten us here this far. So that's why I want to be really clear about the language, Matt, now that you're here.
Busy man,
I want to be very clear about the language
it's
about
always
what
somebody
is
else's
our
fault.
actual number of rooms that are actually compliant, and what has thus far, what are we actually looking at in the immediate term for fulfillment of those, to be compliant with
Right,
our
Robert.
alliance
They're
obligation. Because right now, it's 466. It's potentially another 216, potentially, if we contract it through 27. But the 499 in booking agreements, that's not anything substantive other than providing a short-term solution for us that causes us both the cost of the rooms and the cost of the services. And again, it goes back to, we're in a fiscal crisis.
Be a real beast.
We're in a
Thank you
fiscal
so much.
crisis, and we want to ensure that we can actually
Appreciate
get
you.
the county to pay
Thank you,
for the
thank you.
services that they're obligated to pay.
Thank you, Be a real beast.
When we have alliance-compliant beds. So the way I see this, the way I look at these numbers, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong,
Kill my skills.
we've got 466.
Stop my
The county's
freeway.
going to pick up the tab for those services. 216 through occupancy agreements that have not yet been secured for a contractual period through 27. That's kind of in limbo. I'm not clear about where those rooms are going to be in terms of whether or not we secure that contractual obligation through 27. But the booking agreements,
Low rent
that's
Vilma.
kind of
She's a
neither here nor
Timu
there.
Vilma.
That's just us paying twice as much for paying for these rooms, paying for the services.
Does kind
and
of look like
not
Vilma
getting
though
closer to
from Scooby Doo.
So,
Even
Council Member, I
Scooby
think
agrees.
I would.
And look at his hair
think
now.
about
It's so
it
much
in-
more different than when we
there-
saw
there
the
are
Danish on his head.
Two standards that we're looking to
Bro,
meet.
somebody really
One
fucked
is
him up that
our-
one
our
time.
compliance with the settlement agreement, and the
Homeboy
other
straight left the
is
Danish, half of that on his
eligibility
head.
for county reimbursement.
I know
And
some
that's
of
in
you
a separate
remember it.
MOU, which is not part of the settlement agreement. So
He'll for always be. He'll
clearly
always be the Danish.
The beds, the 466 beds, as you pointed out, that are extended through June of 2027, are compliant with the settlement agreement and compliant with and are included in what we are charging the county on a reimbursement basis to cover the services. The other beds are also compliant with the settlement agreement.
The other
to-
beds, can you
the
define
other beds,
Remember,
the
Randy?
other, the
You
216
mad, man.
and the 499 in the occupancy agreements.
You
and the
know
booking
somebody
agreements.
fucked up his hair. Just look how
Because
he's
they
wearing
are new
it now.
beds that have been established that are serving
Much more
people
different.
experiencing homelessness. They have been established after June of 2022.
Cow
Now,
pop.
so as for the quarter, for this last quarter and for this next quarter,
crazy eyes.
we will report those to the court. We will
Try not
charge
to
the
look at
county
his
for
eyes.
reimbursement for the services.
Turn you to stone.
And if and when those beds come offline, we would be obligated to replace them with other beds before June of 2027. Similar to how we managed the roadmap. We didn't keep all of the beds open, all of the same beds open for all 4 years. As beds came offline for various reasons, we had to replace them to maintain that level, and that would be in the intent. There's not an obligation to keep the other beds outside of the
Oh, there's
466
Taiji.
open.
Now he's
But
in.
while they are open, we should
We
take
were just
advantage
talking about you, Taiji.
of the agreement that, the settlement provisions and the agreement they have with the county to maximize our reimbursement.
And your
So my
haircut
concern
game
is the
fucked
special
up.
master's report indicated that booking agreements aren't deemed or aren't, because they're difficult to verify, qualifying under the alliance agreement. So this is why I'm concerned, because we're spending a lot of money at a time when we don't have a lot. And we're setting ourselves up for potentially being at risk of spending money for these rooms that are not garnering any closer to compliance. So again, this is where I'm like, I don't want to conflate how we're talking about these things, because people are making real decisions about real money right now that have very deep implications for how we go forward. And I want to make sure that we're not conflating the language and misrepresenting what is actually going to be determined to be eligible for compliance. Because at this juncture, my understanding from the special master's report is that they can't verify, they're having difficulty trying to verify the booking agreements and whether or not those rooms are stood up and where they are and tracking all of that.
Of course.
So we can either make it easier for ourselves.
Everything
or
you
more
touch
complicated.
turns to shit.
So
I
I
keep
just want to
telling
make
you.
sure, because the rates
Some
that
people
we're paying
ooze gold.
are not only
You guys ooze
exorbitant,
shit.
but we're also covering the cost of the services, and we're paying for our own TOT. So we're hitting ourselves multiple times with these rooms. So that's what my concern is. So do the nearly 500 rooms contracted through the booking agreements, never mind. So do you intend, or do you have anything in writing that refutes what I'm suggesting to you right now based on my understanding of what I saw in the special master's report? Do you have something in writing that can confirm for the council that in fact the booking agreements would in fact qualify for our alliance obligation?
So you correctly point out that booking agreements are variable.
Does
It's an
have kinda
agreement
crazy
that
eyes.
if there is room available in the particular motel, we are able to use it and to fill it. So we're only paying, so the advantage of the booking agreements is that we're only paying for beds while we are using them. The city is only paying for beds while the city is using them. So for the purposes of our reporting, we,
they
on the
won't be
booking
doing that. They're
agreements,
not voting Republican.
we are only reporting the beds for which
The other
we
side
have
just gave them
invoices.
free citizenship,
And so we're using the invoices
free
to
ride,
show that
money,
this bed was actually used
healthcare,
for this period of time.
place to stay.
And then reporting that to the court, and also then
The other side wants to get rid of them.
providing
Which one
our
do you think
invoice
they're
to the
gonna
county
vote for?
to cover those services. I concede that it is certainly more complicated than having a
Again,
permanent
they're just.
interim
I
housing
told you
resource
from
that
day
we can
one
count
they were
on,
importing a voter
regardless.
base.
But
That's
that
exactly
is
what
how
it did.
we're managing
Spread
it.
them
So we're
across
only,
the
we're
country.
only reporting the beds for which we
Is
have
their normal
invoices
voter
that they were
base
actually in use.
just kind of woke
So,
up and said, "We're
now
tired.
going on to the
Keep doing the
invoices.
same thing over and over. We're
Has
not
LASA
getting
been
anywhere."
providing, because you're
Might as well vote the
suggesting
other way,
that
see if there's
you don't-
any
or you've
change.
reported that you don't have data from LASA for Q3
Don't let
and
there be
Q4
change.
on the expenditures.
Then
So my
they'll never
question
vote the
is,
other way again.
Have you had the invoices to be able to verify, and how are you verifying that the rooms are actually being filled?
So we're the invoices for the leasing for the rooms, which is we use LASA
Well,
for
that
the
too, for sure.
for the
What is a
services.
crime?
Okay.
What is
but
the
we
crime?
directly contract
So
for the leasing.
so you've got all that.
Yes.
Okay. And so, so then, on the services part, because the services part are helping to actually ensure that they're actually servicing occupied rooms, and yet you're not able to verify, because LASA is not providing you the data in real time, what these service providers are
Has
actually
liver there?
servicing,
How
and
can you
whether or
tell,
not there's
Tam Tam?
vacancies in these rooms, correct? That's missing. Your
His googly eye.
funding request, this funding request is based on projected expenditures, not based on real data, because you indicated that on page 6, this office has repeatedly requested that LASA provide a breakdown
oil
of the
tester shit,
slot-based
yeah.
budget per encampment as well as updated actuals on service provider costs per person per day with no updates since October of '24.
So that's regarding the attachment 3, which is the breakdown of how much, what the actual expenses are for each encampment resolution.
Right.
However, originally through December 31st of 2024, LASA has provided invoices that cover that portion that service providers have reported their actual costs. And then as of beginning of May, which was after the release of this report, the invoice for the initial invoice for quarter 3
You think
was
she's
received,
drunk?
and I want to say that was about $8.3 million.
drunk.
But I
Looks
don't
tired,
have I don't
maybe.
have that information in front of me.
just tired.
Okay,
But
but-
it was only it did cover January and February, most of February, and then some March costs.
Okay, so you are or are not getting data? Because is LASA cooperating getting you the data? Because
So we are getting expenditures. We're not getting the specific data that's requested in attachment 3.
okay, so we're not getting it. Okay.
The easy answer would have been
And
no.
then
We're not getting it.
on the TLSs, on the time-limited subsidies,
What about the
they're
TDS
usually
reports?
allocated across the spas, the different spas, based on the need. And my understanding is that right now, the majority of the city's TLS allocations are being spent for Inside Safe. Is that accurate?
I don't have that information in front of me. I'm sorry.
I feel like I got one more in
Do you
me,
know,
but-
Matt?
I would need to look at that. We are not currently using TLS for our Alliance program. We have been using TLS for Roadmap.
Thank you.
So I would need to look at those numbers and get back to
Okay,
you.
because I know there was some reporting recently also that discussed, it was revealed through the audit that they were unable to verify, in fact, where the TLSs are
Tennessee.
being used.
They have TDS.
In the
reports
yeah,
going on.
In the
in the
A&M.
review, in the A&M review, there was some conversation,
Just
there
as
was some
critical
discussion about that.
to the infrastructure of the company.
And there are issues related to how LASA was accounting for the slots when we transferred them from rapid
I already
rehousing to
left it
time
up,
limited
Moxie.
subsidy.
It's up.
Right. So
Motorcycle? I left it
that
up. It's up there.
obviously remains an issue, because if we're using that
I'm about
for a
done.
roadmap,
Pull
if
the
we were using it for
eject
roadmap
button on
bets,
this
or
thing.
whether or not
See you
we
guys later tonight.
start to, expand that use for the purposes of Alliance eligible rooms. But it's been revealed that it's predominantly being used by Inside Safe. We already know, based on the reports of where encampment resolutions are happening, that's not happening equitably across the city. So many of our districts aren't actually getting our share of time-limited subsidies to do encampment resolutions. And that's another really big red flag, where we're not all getting access to these services. And yet, it's all of our districts, it's all of our taxpayers in the city, but they're being cherry-picked, and it's a really big problem.
Right. So there's some time limited there's time limited subsidies that are subject to council approval in our roadmap reports and in our HAP reports that are outside of Alliance. There are some TLS slots which are part of the Inside Safe program that are paid for through the HEA. So those
It's
are
at least an hour long, hour and a half.
the issues that you raised. That's specific to the Inside Safe program.
Okay, so
It's been on almost 2 hours.
have you been able to garner any kind of, and
All right,
again,
Paul.
you're just the messenger. I understand, I want to clarify, because I think what gets lost in conversation for members of the public, it's because we can't get the mayor's office here to actually report on what they're doing and how they're doing it. So they send the messenger to deliver this for us. So again, I understand I got to ask you, and then you got to go ask them, and then you got to come back, and then, I got it. So if you can communicate to them, I'd like to start getting a better understanding of the TLS distribution to ensure equitable distribution across our city for each of the council districts, because we should all be able to have access to that. So if you would kindly communicate that
Charles.
back up.
That's why
and
I
then
normally
finally,
pull the ripcord right here.
the last time the HEA was here before us,
And Councilmember, we're going to have to come back to you. You're at about 15 minutes now,
Yeah,
so
shut
we
your
got
mouth,
other speakers on
girl.
the queue.
okay, I'm
That's
just
what
the
we-
last one.
Wrap it up.
So the last time the HEA report came
He
through,
said right
I
now,
asked
wrap
for the
that
data
shit
on
up,
the
B.
vacancy rates associated with the occupancy agreement rooms, going back to where we started with this. The data was not included in this report. So can you provide this information to us now?
So as of
Shut up, Meg.
the beginning of this year through about March 31st, the occupancy, vacancy rates varied between 6 and 10%. That is based on invoices received. So for the next report, we are reaching out to LASA to use their newly implemented room tracking availability in order to get a better sense of what the vacancy data is.
Okay, so hopefully the next report will have it.
Correct.
Shut up, Meg.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Shut up, Meg.
Follow-up questions. We're talking about I understand the concerns were raised about the booking agreement. Share some of those concerns. On the occupancy agreements, have the courts signed off on us counting those? I remember learning about those recently, that we were going to count them, but do we have anything from the courts that they're going to count those? I understand the logic too, why they should be counted, and agree that they should, but is there a process that we have to go through to get them official?
Well, we submit our quarterly reports to the court with the information requested, and everything that we've reported is consistent with the requirements of the settlement. So we haven't. There are ongoing conversations and ongoing hearings on this matter, but there has not been anything suggested that what we've reported would be disallowed.
That's it. Connect the dots.
You guys got to
And then
connect
the
the
bed
dots.
plan. Do we have at this point a formal bed plan of how we're going to get there and how we're going to pay for it?
So that will be a conversation that we have in this council in the very near future. It is subject to funding availability in the budget, which will be discussed on Thursday, and then supplemental funding that the city is eligible for through La Casa. And once we determine
Last bag and I'm out.
what we believe we can assume in terms of additional funding, we can craft a plan that would, over the next 2 years, cover the remaining 1,900 beds.
Okay, well, I'll leave it at that for now. I know we're talking about further. I'm very concerned, we all very concerned that we get to that bed plan. I am also concerned about whether the courts will accept some of the assumptions that we've made, and hopefully that they will, and we'll work with them on that.
Shout out to
And,
Smoke and
the
Scan,
TLS thing as
Damon,
well.
Brock Landers, and all
I'd
that
suggested that
crew.
we try
Y'all
to
are
create a minimum
awesome.
for each district to try
Shout out
to
to
have,
Brock, man. Where's
spread
Brock
that
at?
out, because that is, I think it's hard for us to know
Brock
where
a little
those
bit, man. Miss you,
TLSs
man.
end up. It's very opaque from my perspective. But that's it.
All right, everybody.
Smoke.
Be the last.
Councilmember Rodriguez. Good. Okay. All right. If there's nothing before us, Madam Clerk, can you restate for the members what's before us? Councilmember Rahman? Sorry, Madam Clerk. Councilmember Rahman.
Just have an amendment for this item that I want to make sure that we're voting on.
Yes, I think the amendment has been received and seconded, so we're voting on this item as amended.
Yes, and I just want to clarify for people.
I want to find out what the definition of trillium is. What the fuck is trillium?
And
the fuck is trillium?
in this body as a whole, and across, frankly, the entire system, there's been a lot of frustration with
Good morning, Arnold Sachs.
how programming has happened on Inside Safe versus some of the other programs that we are running in this city. And I think it's really important for us to make sure that as part of this budget process, that we are really integrating all of our programs under one umbrella, that they're run through a centralized process, and that we are ensuring that we are making decisions about our bed plan that align with our fiscal realities that are in front of us.
That's pretty
Unfortunately,
stupid.
because of the way in which decision-making on these issues have been structured in the city for a long time, these issues are fragmented and sometimes opaque for us to understand. Even for me, who I feel like spends so much of my time engaged across all of these parts of the system, it can sometimes be challenging to explain who is in charge of X decision. And that's not just an issue for the city. I mean, that's an issue for the system as a whole. This amendment today is really designed to ensure
What the hell's going on?
Funding
Who changed everything?
Of all of these efforts as we move forward is in alignment with what's coming out of the Budget Committee, which I think is cognizant of the fiscal realities in front of us, of the need for us to meet our bed goals. I think that it is it's kind of makes sense for the context that we're in, and so I hope that I can get your support for it. I know there were some issues and questions raised about our partnership with our service providers, as well as issues raised around our broader contracting process and timely payments. We have made some progress on all of those issues, and I am in close touch with our service provider partners, and I will continue to advocate for their issues to be resolved on this body, even as we are building a more transparent and accountable system. And anybody on this horseshoe, if you have questions about issues that are coming up with your service providers, I invite you to reach out to me or my team, and we're able to kind of problem solve those as we move forward. So I want to just hopefully get your support on this amendment to bring it in alignment with what's been discussed in the Budget Committee, and to move forward eyes wide open to hopefully creating a better management system and a better, more transparent decision-making system into this next fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember McCosker.
Do you guys think you are?
Quick question. Speaking of opaque, looking at page 11, what is the plan next for the Grand, the LA Grand Hotel? I see the entries on the...
Who gives a shit about the LA Grand? Who gives a shit about any of you motherfuckers? You don't give a fuck when the fucking people are talking to you. So we don't give a shit about what you say, Bob. Or fucking Tim. Go find your fucking upper lip. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out today. Wasn't the best meeting, but it wasn't the worst. We at least got some extra time, because they tried to shut us down too early. I'm trying to tell you, some are going to sue, some are going to win some money, and I'm glad to whoever does. Shout out to them. Shout out to Stacy, of course, and Mr. Herman, and Audit LA for the shout outs. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you to you guys for hanging out with me. Remember, we're live tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so please adjust to your time zone. Thank you for the likes, the love, the donations, and the thumbs ups. The thumbs ups are free and they work, and I appreciate them. Really, I do, especially with the LA City Council stuff, because that way we can start to push this stuff and maybe have more fun with this. I guess that's it for now. I'll see you guys in a little bit tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Taco Tuesday. Go get you some scrumptious tacos. On behalf of old Stink Bomb, who ain't even here, and myself, I'm out of here for now. But I'll see you on the next one tonight.
This party is officially over.
Yeah, you guys. I'm a going home.